The world around you is not determining your worth, it is reflecting your assumption of it. When you begin to act as if you are the prize, you do not do it to convince others. You do it because you have finally remembered the truth. You are not reaching for love, attention, validation, or praise. You are the source of it. You are the gold others are searching for. And what you assume to be true of yourself, quietly, faithfully, and unwaveringly, becomes your world. You need not speak your worth aloud, for the assumption that you are valuable whispers through your every movement. It is not arrogance, it is not ego, it is stillness. It is the deep, serene knowing that the one who is sought has already arrived. When you walk into a room, the room rearranges itself to reflect your inner conversation. If you carry within the silent knowing, I am the prize, then the world will bow to meet it. Not because you asked it to, but because it must. There is no need to chase, plead, or strive. Because what you accept, the one who chases assumes they becomes what you live. The one who pleads believes they are less. But the one who knows they are the prize understands that what is meant for them moves toward them. The outer world is never persuading anything into being. It is the inner world, saturated with belief, that makes all things visible. So if you feel unseen, do not fix the world, change the story. Rewrite the dialogue within yourself. Speak silently, I am worthy of being chosen. I am already chosen. I am the one they seek. This act is not performance, it is creation. You do not need to manipulate others into seeing your worth. That is not your role. Your only task is to dwell in the consciousness of already being it, already being enough, already being desired, respected, admired. The more consistently you inhabit this identity, the more surely it becomes externalized in your reality. Not by effort, but by law. What you embody becomes your experience, and so begin now, not tomorrow. Not when you're thinner, richer, more educated, or more loved. Begin now, in this moment, to carry yourself with the awareness that you are the prize. Let your inner conversations reflect this truth. Let your posture mirror it. Let your energy transmit it. Because when you believe that you are the prize, the world believes it with you. You teach others how to treat you, not by demanding their respect, but by refusing to live as though you are not already worthy of it. There is no competition, there is no lack. There is only imagination expressing itself through assumption. You are not in the game to win anyone over, you are the game. You are not waiting to be picked, you are choosing. And everything you experience is a mirror held up to the thoughts you have dared to repeat. The more natural it becomes to think, feel, and move as if you are the prize, the more life gives you back what matches that vibration. And it does so with perfect precision. So stand firm in the inner knowing, act not from fear but from fulfillment. Let the world show you how powerful you truly are, not because you begged for it, but because you dared to assume it. The entire structure of your world, every person, every circumstance, and every experience is a direct reflection of your inner assumptions. Nothing outside of you holds any independent power. It merely plays out the script you have written, often unconsciously, within your own mind. You are not reacting to life, you are creating it. And the moment you accept this truth is the moment you reclaim your power. To act as if you are the prize is not to wait for others to confirm it, but to assume it so deeply that the world has no choice but to agree. Every assumption you carry is a seed. When you assume lack, rejection, or unworthiness, life grows weeds of disappointment and confusion. But when you assume that you are the one of value, the one who is chosen, the one who is sought after, then the garden of your experience blossoms into admiration, respect, and love. Not because you forced it, but because you dared to believe differently. Many live in a state of unconscious assumption. They believe they are unwanted, inferior, invisible. And their lives reflect this with heartbreaking precision. It is not that life is cruel, it is that life is obedient. It listens to the silent words repeated within. It listens to the tone of your inner conversations. It reflects not what you wish for, but what you assume as real. So if you walk through life thinking you are overlooked, that you must fight to be seen or earn love to be accepted, then life will agree with you. It will mirror back the belief you hold most consistently. But the law is not partial. It does not care what you assume. It only brings it to life. This means you can change everything, not by changing others, but by changing your assumptions. The moment you begin to move through the world with the inner declaration, I am the prize, the script begins to shift. People look at you differently. Conversations take on a new tone. Opportunities that once seemed distant begin to gravitate toward you, not because they suddenly value you, but because your assumption now says you are valuable. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are aligning yourself with the deeper truth that has always been there, buried beneath layers of doubt and conditioning. The assumption that you are the prize does not need proof, it needs persistence. When you hold to this assumption, even in the absence of outer validation, you give life permission to transform. You give form to the invisible. The world cannot help but reflect you back to yourself. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, frowning and asking the reflection to smile first. It would never happen. You must change your expression first. So it is with life. You must change your inner assumption before the world reflects anything new. You must carry yourself with the quiet dignity of one who knows they are sought after, admired and chosen, not because the world has told you so, but because you have told yourself. And when you begin to tell yourself this new story, not once, not twice, but consistently as a new way of being, everything shifts. What was once out of reach begins to move closer. People who never noticed you begin to feel drawn. Situations that once ignored you now make space for you. Life begins to court you, not because you chased it, but because you assumed you were already its desire. You are not here to earn approval. You are not here to prove your worthiness. You are here to remember it. And the remembering begins with assumption. Assume that you are the one they want. Assume that your presence is a gift. Assume that when you walk into a room, the energy changes, not because you try to impress, but because your being speaks a different frequency. That frequency is the vibration of knowing you are the prize. No one outside you needs to declare it. In fact, many may not. But if you continue to dwell in the state of being the one who is chosen, the world will eventually echo that state back to you. It may start subtly, a glance, a compliment, a small shift in how someone speaks to you. But over time, these small ripples become waves. They wash over your reality and create a new landscape, one where you are seen, respected, loved, and valued in ways you once only imagined. You have never needed the world to change before you feel worthy. That has always been a misunderstanding. The truth is that worth is an internal claim. It is assumed, not awarded. You give it to yourself first. And once given, it becomes the very lens through which you view the world. And the world, in turn, views you. Even now, you are holding assumptions that shape your life. Perhaps they are subtle. People like me have to work harder, or I'm always overlooked, or nothing ever works in my favor. These assumptions are not facts. They are beliefs repeated so often that they've become familiar. But familiarity does not make them true. You can begin today to adopt a new assumption, not with strain, but with surrender. You don't need to force belief. You only need to dwell in the feeling of what it would be like if it were already true. Ask yourself gently, if I were the prize, how would I move? How would I speak? What would I expect from the world around me? How would I feel waking up each day? How would I interpret silence, not as rejection, but as space clearing for something better? This is not make-believe. This is the creative act of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you embody this feeling, when you think from it rather than toward it, you shift dimension. And remember, you are not alone in doing this. The entire universe is responding to your inner claim. The people, the events, the moments that seem random are all responding to the script you've chosen to live by. If the script has been one of being secondary, forgotten, or unworthy, then write a new one. Let the new script say, I am the prize. I am worthy now. I am already chosen. The outer world is only ever a shadow. It casts itself based on the position of your inner light. Move the light and the shadow changes. Change your assumption and the world will follow. There is no begging in this state. There is no needing. There is only the calm, confident knowing that what is yours must come because you have assumed it is already so. There is a quiet power in the one who knows who they are. This power does not shout or beg to be noticed. It does not seek applause or external validation. It radiates from within, silent but undeniable. When you hold the inner conviction that you are the prize, you no longer concern yourself with how the world perceives you. You are no longer waiting to be chosen, noticed, or validated. You have already decided that you are. And from that decision flows an energy so compelling, the world bends to meet it. The way others treat you is not based on their independent choices, but on the signal you send out through your self-concept. When you believe yourself to be of high value, others mirror that belief, whether they realize it or not. They are simply responding to the vibration you are radiating. This is not about appearance, status, or anything external. It is about the unseen assumption you carry. If your inner world speaks, I am enough, I am desired, I am chosen, then your outer world must reflect it. Not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. There is no need to act out a role, to play games, or to manipulate anyone into seeing your worth. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. Proof is for those who doubt. But when you no longer doubt your value, there is no need to prove. It simply becomes. You simply are. And that quiet confidence draws people in without effort. It creates a gravity around you that cannot be faked or forced. The one who knows their worth moves differently. They speak with calmness, listen with presence, and walk with certainty. There is no rush, no desperation, no fear of being unseen. They know they are already seen by the one who matters, themselves. This inner conviction does not come from looking outside for signs. It comes from choosing a new identity within. It comes from making the bold decision to no longer entertain the lies of unworthiness. You may have grown up feeling less than. You may have been rejected, overlooked, or abandoned. But none of those experiences define you unless you continue to assume they are your truth. The moment you shift your inner conversation, the moment you decide to feel chosen, regardless of the past, the universe begins to respond in kind. It listens not to your history, but to your now. Even in silence, your energy speaks. Even in stillness, your belief is working. You may not realize it, but every thought you persist in is shaping your future experience. When you begin to hold the inner belief that you are worthy of the best, the most loving, the most generous expressions of life, then those expressions must appear. Not because you earned them, but because you aligned with them. You gave up the old story and claimed a new one. This is where true power lies. Not based on outer evidence, not in striving, but in inner choice. Not in convincing, but in knowing. You don't have to change your circumstances before you feel chosen. You feel chosen, and then your circumstances change. You don't have to wait for someone to love you to feel lovable. You feel lovable, and then love comes in forms more beautiful than you imagined. And this process begins with a single, unshakable belief: I am the prize. It is this belief that transforms the way you relate to others. You no longer tolerate less than what reflects your worth. You no longer cling to relationships that drain you, jobs that diminish you, or friendships that ignore you. You begin to walk away not out of anger, but out of clarity. You know who you are now. You no longer settle for crumbs, because you understand that your inner conviction commands the banquet. The moment you stop begging life to give you more and start assuming that more is already yours, the game changes. There is no need to chase. The moment you chase, you affirm lack. The moment you seek validation, you admit to yourself that you doubt your worth. But when you rest in the certainty that you are the one to be pursued, the one to be admired, the one to be loved deeply and fully, that certainty becomes magnetic. You are no longer reacting, you are creating. You are no longer wondering what others think of you. You are deciding how you will be treated through your own unwavering belief. And this belief becomes effortless with repetition. At first, it may feel unfamiliar. You may still hear the echoes of your old story. They won't choose me, I'm not good enough, they always pick someone else. But the moment you hear these thoughts and choose not to identify with them, you begin to break the pattern. You begin to train your mind in a new direction. You replace the old script with a new one. I am wanted, I am admired, I am the one they think about. I am unforgettable. These thoughts may feel like fiction at first, but the more you dwell in them, the more they solidify, and soon they stop feeling like affirmations and begin feeling like facts. Because your reality will begin to reflect them back to you. You'll begin to notice how people look at you differently, how they speak to you with more reverence, how they seek your presence, your energy, your time. You are no longer chasing love, you are the source of it. You are no longer asking to be seen, you are the vision. And all of this comes not from action, but from assumption, not from doing, but from being. The inner conviction that you are the prize needs no outer justification. It stands alone, complete and radiant like the sun. It gives light because it is light. It does not ask permission to shine, it simply shines. And so do you the moment you stop doubting your glow. You are not here to be a background character in someone else's story. You are not here to beg for attention, to overextend yourself just to be noticed or to be an option among many. You are here to know your worth so deeply that anyone who does not recognize it naturally fades from your field. You are here to carry yourself as the one, not with pride, but with peace. Not with arrogance, but with assurance. This inner conviction is not for show. It is for truth. It is the truth you were born with, but forgot. The truth that no one else can give you because it is already within you. And when you begin to live from that truth, the world rearranges itself to prove you right. To attract anything into your life, you must first stop chasing it. The very act of chasing implies separation. It implies lack. It affirms to the universe and to your own subconscious mind that what you want is somewhere out there, distant and uncertain, rather than something already within your reach. The one who knows they are already chosen never chases. They rest in the awareness that what is theirs must come. They understand that the law of consciousness is not built on pursuit, but on assumption. When you chase love, attention, approval, or success, you are saying through your actions and your energy, I don't have it. And because life responds to your state of being, it continues to show you evidence that you are lacking, that you are waiting, that you are not yet the one who is chosen. But when you reverse this dynamic, when you decide to assume the end, to dwell in the state of already being chosen, you enter into a completely different frequency. You are no longer sending out a signal of absence. You are now vibrating with the energy of fulfillment. And that vibration draws what matches it to you. It's not about pretending or putting on a show. You are not trying to convince anyone of your worth. You are returning to it. You are remembering the truth that your presence is enough, your essence is enough, your energy is enough. There is nothing to chase when you are the magnet. There is nothing to seek when you are the source. The moment you stop looking outward and begin cultivating the feeling of being desired, valued, and admired within, the outer world aligns with that new feeling. The people who chase love are often the ones who have not yet realized they already are love. The people who chase validation do so because they have not turned within to validate themselves. But the moment you realize that you do not need to chase what you already are, something shifts. You become still, you become radiant, you move with grace, and you stop asking, how do I get them to see me? Instead, you rest in the awareness that you are already seen, already known, already held in the perfect imagination of your desire. It's not about waiting passively. It's about moving with certainty. The one who is the prize does not chase because they know they are being pursued, not always visibly, but energetically. They are pursued by opportunities, by love, by connection, because their state of being announces to the world, I am the one. And this is not a mantra, it's a consciousness. It's the internal state that says, I already am what I seek. I already possess the thing I used to run after. And when you live from that state, when you refuse to chase and instead dwell in the knowing that what is yours is coming, you no longer need to cling, to beg, or to force. You become patient, not because you are hoping, but because you are knowing. Patience is not the absence of desire, it is the presence of faith. It is the awareness that manifestation does not come from struggle, but from alignment, When you chase something, you place it above you, you put it on a pedestal, and in doing so, you lower your own vibration. You say to yourself, I need this thing to complete me, and that very belief keeps it away. But when you act from wholeness, when you embody the energy of I am already complete, then the things you once chased begin to seek you. They recognize your energy. They are drawn to the stillness of your power, the ease of your knowing. So stop running, stop striving, stop trying to convince anyone to choose you. They will either rise to meet your vibration or fall away, and either outcome is a blessing, because you are no longer defining yourself based on someone else's perception. You have stepped into the role of creator. You are no longer an extra in someone else's movie. You are the main character, the director, and the screenwriter of your life. And from this position, you do not need to chase what is already written into your story. You need only to assume that it is already done. Assumption creates experience. If you assume you are being overlooked, life will show you people who ignore you. If you assume that love is hard to find, life will present obstacles. But if you assume that you are magnetic, irresistible, and constantly attracting the highest expression of love and abundance, then life must bring you what confirms that belief, not by chance, but by law. This is the art of living from the end, not looking to the future with hope, but looking from the end with certainty. You imagine the scene as already fulfilled. You feel the feelings of having it now. You walk with the energy of the wish fulfilled. And in doing so, you eliminate the need to chase, because your inner world has already received what the outer world will soon reveal. This state is powerful beyond measure. It brings a calmness that cannot be disturbed. It brings a quiet confidence that needs no validation. It brings a magnetic force that draws all good things without effort, because the one who no longer chases is the one who truly receives. Not because they were lucky, but because they understood the law. They understood that creation begins and ends within. So choose today to stop chasing and start assuming. Begin now to walk in the state of already being loved, already being chosen, already being admired. Let go of the need to prove. Let go of the urge to seek. Return to yourself. Return to your imagination, and there dwell in the feeling of already having, already being, already radiating the energy of the one who is desired, the one who is pursued, the one who is remembered. You do not have to fight for what is yours. You do not have to beg to be seen. You only need to become the embodiment of the thing you once chased, because once you become it, it comes to you, not as a stranger, but as a reflection, not as a reward, but as a match to who you have chosen to be. Imagination is not a tool for idle daydreaming. It is the birthplace of reality. Every experience, every relationship, every opportunity in your life is the fruit of an inner state you have imagined, whether consciously or unconsciously. The world around you is not acting independently of your thoughts. It is simply responding to the self you have chosen to be. When you begin to understand this, you realize that changing your life does not require changing the world. It only requires changing your identity. And your identity is shaped moment by moment by the images you hold in your mind and the emotions you attach to them. You are always imagining. The question is, what are you imagining yourself to be? Are you imagining yourself as overlooked, abandoned, not enough, second choice? Or are you imagining yourself as admired, chosen, deeply loved, worthy beyond measure? The images you persist in become the script that life must follow. When you shift the image, you shift the scene. When you change who you are in imagination, the people and circumstances of your world begin to rearrange themselves to reflect your new identity. You don't have to manipulate others or control external situations. You only need to inhabit a new concept of yourself, one that reflects the truth of who you really are. You are not trying to become the prize. You already are. But you must see it first. You must feel it in the silence of your own awareness before anyone else can reflect it back to you. Because the outer world does not give you your value. It reflects the value you give yourself. So if you want to be treated differently, you must live from a new story. One where you are no longer chasing, doubting, or settling, but knowing, embodying, and expecting what you once thought was out of reach. And this is not done through force or repetition alone. It is done through feeling. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the creative act. When you sit with a desire, when you close your eyes and feel as though it is already true, something happens. You awaken a new self. You breathe life into a new state of being. And that new state begins to draw experiences to match it. You're not imagining to get something. You're imagining because it is already yours. This subtle difference is the key. You are not trying to make it happen. You are simply aligning yourself with the reality where it already has. Every time you imagine yourself as the one who is chosen, respected, and desired, you are planting seeds in the soil of consciousness. And those seeds must grow, because the law is unfailing. It does not matter what others believe. It does not matter what your past says. It only matters what you are willing to accept now. If you can accept even for a moment that you are already it, that you are already the one they think of, long for, want to be near, then your world begins to shape itself to prove that you were right. You must refuse to live in contradiction. You cannot declare that you are the prize while secretly fearing you will be abandoned. You cannot affirm your worth and still chase after those who do not see it. You must become loyal to the image you choose to hold. And when doubts arise, as they often will, you do not fight them. You return to the feeling. You return to the state. You remind yourself that your imagination is the real world. The physical is only the echo. It will catch up in perfect time. Every desire you have is showing you the version of yourself you are meant to step into. The longing you feel is not a curse. It's a calling. It is an invitation to rise to a new level of self-recognition. So do not push the desire away. Embrace it. But let it lead you within. Ask yourself not, when will it come? But who must I be to already have this and then become that version? In thought, in feeling, in imagination. Not through effort, but through embodiment. You are never stuck because you are never locked into one identity. You can revise it at any moment. You can go from overlooked to irresistible, from doubted to admired, from forgotten to unforgettable. Not by changing your looks, your words, or your actions, but by changing the inner story, the inner identity. Because the world will never treat you better than you treat yourself in your imagination. It will never love you more than you believe yourself to be loved. And it will never choose you until you choose yourself first, completely and without hesitation. There is no power in trying to be chosen. There is power only in being. You are the version of yourself you assume you are. You are the identity you feel most natural inhabiting. And this is why repetition of words alone is not enough. You must feel it. You must live in the feeling of already being it. Already being the one. Already being the prize. And if that feeling feels foreign at first, that's okay. Every new identity begins as unfamiliar, but if you persist in it, if you return to it daily, eventually it becomes your new home, your new normal, your new foundation. And from that foundation, your entire world changes. Others may not notice it at first. The shift might be invisible to them, but you will know, you will feel it. You will walk into a room and no longer wonder if you belong. You will know you do. You will speak and no longer question if you're being heard. You will feel that your voice carries weight. You will rest at night and feel chosen, not by someone else, but by yourself. And that feeling, once sustained, will become magnetic. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to embody it, to live it, to breathe it, to imagine it so vividly that the world has no choice but to conform. This is the power you've had all along. This is the truth you've always known, that what you imagine yourself to be becomes what you are. That identity, not effort, creates experience. That when you assume the role of the prize, the world bows not in submission, but in reflection. Because you dared to believe first, you dared to feel it real. And that act alone, sustained in silence, is what sets everything in motion. Your self-concept is the blueprint of your reality. It is the silent architect behind every circumstance you encounter, every relationship you experience, and every outcome you witness. You are not navigating a world of chance or chaos. You are walking through a world that mirrors who you believe yourself to be. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are affirming in identity. You are stepping into a state of being, and the world without hesitation takes shape around it. This is why transformation does not begin on the outside, it begins within. When you truly decide that you are the prize, you are reshaping the entire structure of your self-concept, and in doing so, you are commanding reality to respond accordingly. The way people treat you is based on how you see yourself. If you see yourself as forgettable, you will be forgotten. If you see yourself as unwanted, you will be overlooked. If you see yourself as a backup plan, you will always be someone's second choice. But the moment you shift, the moment you decide to see yourself as powerful, magnetic, and irreplaceable, that change ripples outward. Others begin to perceive you differently, not because they've changed, but because you have. Your energy tells a story before your words do. Your presence communicates your self-concept more clearly than any introduction ever could. You cannot hide your self-concept. You may wear the right clothes, speak the right words, and smile at the right moments, but your inner state always reveals itself. And it is not something you can fake with surface-level affirmations or performative actions. It must be embodied, it must be felt, it must be lived. You must dwell in the knowing that you are the one, that you are worthy, not because someone else says so, but because you have declared it yourself. This declaration is not loud, it is not boastful, it is still, quiet, and unwavering. It says, I am enough. And in saying this, everything changes. You are always broadcasting a signal. That signal is the story you tell yourself about who you are. And the universe is always responding to that signal with perfect fidelity. If you believe you are hard to love, the world will echo that belief. If you believe you are always left behind, that too becomes your truth. But when you dare to claim that you are the prize, you rewrite the entire program. You begin to live from a higher state of consciousness. And from that state, the people, places, and situations that match your new belief begin to show up. Not because you chased them, but because you became their natural home. This is not something you need to earn. You do not need to qualify for love, respect, success, or affection. You only need to accept that you are already qualified by virtue of being. You are not a problem to be fixed or a project to be improved. You are whole. You are enough now. When your self-concept aligns with this truth, the world no longer feels heavy. Life no longer feels like a constant struggle to be seen or chosen. You begin to move with ease, with confidence, with grace. And that movement creates momentum. That momentum creates change. You must protect your self-concept like sacred ground. It is the most valuable thing you own because it is the root from which all experience grows. If someone tries to make you feel small, you do not need to argue with them. You simply do not accept it. You remember who you are. If the past tries to remind you of your failures, you do not wrestle with regret. You affirm a new version of yourself. If fear creeps in and whispers that you are not enough, you do not run from it. You meet it with the steady voice of your chosen identity. I am the one. I am the prize. This is not about being above anyone else. It is about knowing that you are not beneath anyone either. It is about removing yourself from the cycle of comparison and stepping into the peace of your own self-worth. You do not need to match anyone. You do not need to compete. You only need to align with the truth that your worth is innate, not dependent. And the moment you fully align with that, life rearranges itself to prove it to you. People will treat you the way you treat yourself. Opportunities will show up that match the level of belief you have in your own power. Miracles will appear as natural outcomes of your inner conviction. Your self-concept is your identity, and your identity is what you manifest. If you believe you're always being left behind, you will live out that role. But if you believe you're always chosen, always prioritized, always valued, you will live out that truth instead. Nothing changes until you do. The shift is internal. It begins with one thought, I am worthy, then another, I am desired, and another, I am the one. As these thoughts become natural, as they become your default perspective, they begin to solidify into experience. And this is why repetition matters. Not mechanical, lifeless repetition, but conscious, feeling-filled awareness of who you really are. You must return to the feeling again and again until it feels like home. At first, it may feel like pretending. That's okay. All new states feel unfamiliar at first. But the more you assume the role, the more you become it. The more you dwell in the identity of the one who is worthy, the more it begins to feel like the only possible truth. And when it becomes your truth, it becomes your life. So choose your self-concept deliberately. Be intentional about the state you live in. You are not obligated to carry the weight of old beliefs any longer. You are free to become someone new. You are free to step into a reality where you are loved, respected, chosen, and honored, not because someone else gave you permission, but because you gave it to yourself. That is the essence of power. That is the foundation of creation. That is the secret behind all transformation. The world changes not when you beg it to, but when you stop asking for permission to be seen and instead decide to see yourself fully. Let your self-concept rise to match the vision you've held in your heart. Let your thoughts speak only of your worth. Let your energy reflect the peace of someone who already has what they once sought. And as you do, the world will reflect it all back to you, not with resistance, but with clarity, not with delay, but with precision. Because you are no longer hoping to become, you are being. You are living as the prize, and the prize never goes unnoticed. The prize is never hidden for long. The prize is revealed to the one who recognizes it first in themselves. And from that recognition, everything begins.